examples here. So the first company I'd like to show you some video from is a company called String, based in the UK, and they're providing a lot of the engines into the kind of marketing and advertising market. And this is here the core technology in terms of mapping the kind of 3D objects and animations into the real world scene using a marker-based system that you see here. So you see how this character can be brought into the real world scene, seen on the screen of your iPhone in this case, and walk around your table very effectively. But this is very much an example of the simple overlay style of introduction. So what you see here is purely the 3D rendering overlaid with a kind of real 3D scene. But we can see already that the user can very easily interact with the system, interact with the creature within the real environment. And this is actually a demonstration that we're using on our booth here at MWC. So all the different technology stations that we have there have an augmented reality marker that you can use to get more information about our products. The second company probably doesn't need much introduction. So one of the very cool products out there that contains our graphics technology is the PlayStation Vita. And the game I've picked here is Reality Fighters. And Reality Fighters allows you to create your own character, and then you can bring it onto your own table or into your own backyard, and really start to allow those fighters to basically interact with the environment as well as with each other. One of the really interesting things, of course, is that you can capture your own reality as well. So you can capture your own facial picture and then map it onto the 3D rendering as well, and then just render it onto the parking lot in your, from looking out of your window out there. So the really key thing is the picture on the left there in terms of being able to bring distortions of the environment into play. And that is really where you are using the streaming capability so that the GPU can actually distort the camera image as well to give you much more immersive and overall feel. And this is a lot clearer in the following demonstration, which I have from a company called Obvious Engine. So they've moved away from using trackers. So that means you do not have a card which you need to position in your scene, but rather they directly recognize objects, such as the very easy to recognize Dr. Pepper can here. And what you see is they actually go to that next step in terms of actually distorting the reality. So taking the can and doing a kind of distortion of the object in your scene. And the great thing now is that you see that actually the parallax comes into play and fully interacts with that scene. So you can really see all those interactions being fully user interactive and controllable as well. So this is really where ideally we want to get to as an augmented reality level, where there are no markers, there is just the reality around you, and the system can do very advanced interaction with this without needing anything special within the environment, just taking all the sensor data that you have, the image data from the camera, the gyro and other sensor information that you have within the mobile systems today. And again, here you see how the object, which is in the real world, is starting to occlude the 3D objects that we are rendering on the screen. So this is this kind of fully immersive experience that you can bring to the system by having the texture streaming abilities. And of course, the orientation of the device, horizontal, vertical, it really does not matter. Everything should track and be fully user-friendly there as well. So this brings me to the kind of second component where the graphics core can help out, and this is actually in the area of processing. So augmented reality, to create all the effects that you've seen in the previous videos, requires a huge amount of processing. And today that processing predominantly is assigned to the CPU because it's quite easy to port between platforms, and historically the CPU has been available to you. Now, one of the great revolutions that Kronos is trying to introduce is to